Hey guys, welcome to your 10th iOS application tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to push your table views onto new tables. So we could start with a table with this array of animals, and then when we click on it, we'll get an array specifically of these animals. And we could do that for each one. And so I'm going to show you how to do this. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and make a new file, or a new project, sorry. Single view application, I'll say pushing table views. Create it, and all we're going to do at first, like we usually do, is we're just going to work with our storyboard. So we're in storyboard, and the first thing we want to do is get rid of our view controller that's already there. We don't need that. And yeah, we'll get rid of our files too. So viewcontroller.h&m, we could delete those. We'll move to trash. Now back to storyboard. Now that it's all cleaned up, we have nothing here. We'll drag two table views, and we're not just dragging table views, we're actually dragging table view controllers, so it comes with a lot of the methods we'll need already there. We're going to highlight this first one, go to our editor, and embed it in a navigation controller. So now we have this navigation controller, and it's right up at the top. You can't really see it right now, but we'll give it a name. We'll name it like I did before, animals. And then we're going to click on this prototype cell, drag it to the next table view, and select push. Now that we did that, we have our storyboard set up, but before we finish, I'm going to click on the segue, which is right here, and we're going to give it an identifier. We'll say array detail, and you'll see why we need that later. Next, we need to add some files for both of our views. So we'll go to new file, UI table view controller is the subclass, and I'll say root table view controller. And we're also going to add another one, and I'm going to name this one second table view controller, and create. And we're going to highlight our first one right there, and we go up to this tab to make its custom class root table view controller, and then this one we're going to make its custom class second table view controller. So now this table view is connected to the root, and what we're going to do is we're going to add to our implementation ns array animals, and over here in view, oops, forgot the pointer. In view did load, we'll say animals equals ns array with objects down to here with the ID and nil. And you'll say dogs, cats, frogs, and gnats. Now that we have that, and it has some objects in it, we'll go down and fill out a few more of these methods. And you'll notice, since we actually made a table view controller and didn't just put one of these table views in a controller, it comes with some methods already. We've got all these down here, even some commented out ones, but we'll only use one of those. So in this first one, number of sections in table view, we know we just want one. Sometimes your program, it might change and you might have it be a variable, but we only want one. And for this table view, the number of rows, since we know the size of our array, we could just put that number, but just in case our array is going to change, we'll put animals count. So if our array changes, so will the number of rows. And the next thing we're going to do is type some code in here, and it's a lot of typing, and I kind of want to keep this tutorial short, so I'm just going to type it up and then I'll cut to the end. Alright, so it wasn't as much as I thought it would be. It's the other table view that's going to be a lot more typing. So basically what I did is I made a table identifier animal cell, and then we make a cell, and here if there is if the cell doesn't have anything in it because we dequeue it, if it's empty, we create a new one, and then we create text for it depending on what row it is. And now, since I made this table identifier, we actually need to go over to main storyboard and click on the prototype cell, and we need to give it the same identifier, which was animal cell. And now that we did that, we are done with our root table view. Actually, I forgot we have our segue to deal with. So down here, you'll see void prepare for segue, and we're going to change this method a little bit, and I'll come back to you when the typing's done. Alright, so I just finished typing it, and you'll see the name of it's void prepare for segue, and it takes a value segue. And right here I put show array detail because back in main storyboard, actually, let's change that a little bit. I thought I put show array detail, but I guess I just put array detail. So now it matches, and so this will be the segue we use, is that push segue with that identifier, and then the index path is just the row we clicked on. And here we have an error saying, what the heck is this? It's because we have to import our other view. So we'll say second table view controller. Man, I'm really bad at remembering what I need to do. And now we just need to change. Actually, we have nothing to change. That should do it. The reason there's errors here is because it's there's no information about an animal name in second table view, but that's because we haven't done anything yet. So we will do that right now, but I want to explain this first. So we just created a second table view controller object, and we called it dest view controller because that's the destination. And then we said segue.destination view controller, and right here it's a method. And so that returns the segue, which was the push. And then we say, hey, we want your animal name to be whatever animal we picked. So its animal name is going to be whatever row we picked, either dogs, cats, frogs, or gnats. And then right here I just put destination view controller.title equals destination view controller.animal name, and that's just because I want the title to be whatever we picked. Now in second table view controller, we'll say at property non-atomic strong ns string, and we'll say animal name because that's what we want. And now if we go back to our root table, it'll be like, hold on, there we go. It's like, okay, there's an animal name now. So once we click on a row, it'll set this animal name to whatever row we clicked on. Now all we need to do is create a few ns arrays. So ns array dogs, cats, frogs, and gnats. And then down in view did load, I'm just going to copy and paste from my other one because that'll be a lot quicker, so I'll cut back. Alright, there we go. So now we have our arrays with all of our names. I'm going to add some spaces. And let's see. Now we come down here, we still want only one section in our table view. And for these two methods, there's going to be a little more. So I'm going to type it up and then explain it. Okay. So after our number of sections in table, which we want one, we have number of rows in section. But since we have arrays with different number of objects, we can't just say return this or return that. So it all depends on the animal name that we got from our root table view controller when we did prepare for segue. So if the animal name is equal to dogs, we return the amount of rows dogs would need, and so on and so forth for cats, frogs, and gnats. And next, in the cells for row at index path, we gave it a different name because it's going to be a different cell. We could use the same name, but I just wanted to do this for if your code might be a little different than mine and you're tooling around and you have a custom cell, you're going to want it to be the same. or you're not going to want it to be the same. And then we create a cell, and depending on what the string is, our animal name chosen is, that will decide what the cell equals. So once again, if it equals dogs, we're setting it to the dogs array values, and cats and all that. And that should do it. So I'm going to change this to 4-inch. Let's run it and see what happens. Alright, so we have our array, and we click on it, and you see that we get our dogs with our different dogs. You can see I actually care about dogs, but I'm not much of a cat person. And we have our 4 cats, our 3 frogs, and our 2 gnats. So this is how you can use push segues to transfer data from one table view to another. And you could do the exact same technique where you just change the prepare for segue if you wanted to make an even deeper segue. So like inside Golden Retriever, we had either a table view or a regular view. It could be any view you want as long as you follow those rules for just passing variables. It could be any type of view, so I could click on Golden Retriever if I wanted to and then get all the information on it. It's just inside your view or in another file if you wanted. You have to keep all the information from those arrays so you can pull it out when you need it. And yeah, that should do it for this tutorial. If you like that I just cut away and then you come back with all the code already there, let me know, or I could go back to typing it all out and explaining it as I go.